I'm Cal from 27 Diamonds. We are here finishing up this amazing kitchen and bathroom in Coto de Caza. This kitchen marries the French country style with a little bit of that modern coastal style by adding in a blue and a white, a lot of gold veining. I think that was definitely something that we went back and forth on, where you didn't want to do something that was so trendy that it wouldn't last, but we definitely wanted to add a little more of that French country kitchen in here, even though we are a little more on like that coastal modern side. So being able to add in just a hint of color where you have the blue and it complements the gold in the kitchen, the gold in the pendants, the gold in the countertop. I think that was a huge detail. That was a lot of what makes this kitchen, to be honest with you. There is a lot to love in this kitchen. We put a lot of thought into the detail, as you can see, between the champagne kind of gold finish of the pendants to the mullion patterns and the glass doors. We made sure that we did as much of this shelving that you can see throughout here too, as our client is looking to start collecting different types of teapots. We also added a lot of height to the kitchen and made sure that some of our angles matched up. You can see like our countertops have a little more of a square edge, just like our upper top piece does, but then everything else has a little bit more of that roundness because the overall curve of the house, we didn't want to lose any of that. They are very family oriented. We wanted to create a space where people could come in, whether you are friends, whether you're family, whether you're the kids in the house, and you can come in, you could make a mess, you could cook, you could bake, you could do whatever you need to, but it could be easily cleaned and still done well, where it just really shines with all of the white, blue, the texture. The matte finish on the counters is definitely not something that you see every day. A lot of times, especially when you have materials that tend to look a little more like marble, they tend to have a higher polish finish. In this kitchen, we went with this natural finish from Decked On. It gives it a little more texture when you're looking at it, which is really great for the veining and the depth. There's a lot of things that go into choosing a color palette. When we originally started this kitchen and she had said blue, we were definitely more modern, where we are in more of the slate blues, the darker blues, the navy blues, which is something that you see a little more trendy these days. When she mentioned blue, that's where we started, but we kind of took a step back looking at the house, her furniture style, kind of what she was looking to accomplish, and realized that she definitely needed to be more in that French country type blue, something that was a little lighter, a little more of that kind of corn silk color. And I think it shows really, really well, because a lot of the times when you use navies and colors that are trendy, they can feel very cool, especially with blue. And one of the things that we wanted to do with this kitchen is we have warm lighting, we have a warm flooring color, so we really had to be conscious of the blue that we chose. That way it kept that warmth through the kitchen and didn't make it feel any starkier. We did choose gold accents through the kitchen. You can see it kind of on the hardware, on the cabinets. We mixed the sizes with the pulls as well, just to give you a little more depth throughout the kitchen, where some of these pulls are going to be a little bit larger versus some of your drawers are going to be a little bit smaller. We also did some golds here throughout the kitchen for your faucets, your soap dispensers, your pendants. We did gold writing on the pantry door, and I think one of the important things too there is none of the gold tones are the same. So that was definitely something when we were looking at it. A lot of people feel like they have to match the tone of gold that they're using, and that's definitely not true. We went from a honey bronze to something that's a little brassier. The pendants are a little more champagne, and that's something that you figure out as you go along. When we originally did the pendants, we did them in a gold leaf. When we put them in the kitchen, we realized against the blue that the gold leaf actually came out a little too orange. So that was something we had to take a step back in and be like, you know what, this is not the look we were going for. Let's switch it out, do a little more of a champagne color, and that is how we ended up here. There's a lot of things that go into a kitchen in terms of creating depth. One of the more popular ones being changing the sizing between all of the hardware so it perfectly matches the type of cabinet that you're doing. Again, the other thing was the texture on the countertop creates a lot more depth than you would normally think. Just by having something not as high of a polish, we have that natural tone, the veining becomes a lot more clear. Another one of my favorite ways to add depth into the kitchen is to add glass cabinets. I love having glass cabinets. I love being able to see what's in them. You can light them up, you can change them colors. It just makes the kitchen feel a little more like you. For more traditional kitchens like this too, I always choose to kind of put that mullion pattern back into the cabinets, just so you can kind of get an idea where it's not entirely clear, but you have a little more of texture in there when you're looking at it. So islands, a lot of the times when you have cooktops in them, you will see hoods that come from up above. In this kitchen, we specifically wanted pendants above the island, so having a hood that had a drop down was not an option for us. Not to mention, if you notice, the ceiling height in here is quite large. So again, you don't need a 5-foot metal piece coming down from the ceiling. So we did opt to do the downdraft, which is one of my favorite features. Let's pop her up. A great part of the island, hides itself when you don't need it. The pop-up outlets are one of my favorites as well. You can pull them up. You have 2 outlets here. This little thing lifts here, so if you want to pull your wires through, and then when you're not using them, you just pop them back in. They're finished off with a piece of the countertop as well, so they become a little less noticeable. And you don't have as many outlets on the side of your islands, which for this island is good because we did storage on the side of the island, so we didn't really have the space for the outlet. So putting them as a pop-up made a huge difference. A lot of the times in modern kitchens, we have spices where they're hidden. They're in pullouts, they're behind the backsplash, they're somewhere where the eye can't see them. I think in this kitchen, especially because how much they like to cook and the fact that we have the cooktop in the island, we really utilize the side space to display all of their spices so they can be easily grabbed, brought up here for cooking, but at the same time, again, it gives us a little more of that country vibe that we were going for in the kitchen. We made a lot of changes in this bathroom, from taking down a wall to doubling the size of the shower. And we also added a lot of detail. You can tell the bathroom itself is very white. It has a very monochromatic and neutral color palette. We used a lot of the same materials, but we used them in different ways. So in the vanity countertop in the shower, you can see we do have our full Calcutta gold slabs, versus on the floor, we kind of use that same Calcutta gold, but we made it a 4x16, so it adds a little bit more texture, a little more depth. One of my favorite features in this bathroom is definitely the sink. That's something that we wanted to kind of put that playful floral pattern throughout the bathroom, give it a little more femininity. We added in the scalloped wall tile as well, giving it a little bit more of that deco styling. And then I think feature-wise, I love the pull-out drawers. We have the outlet drawers where you can put your hair curling iron, your hair blow dryer, things like that, and you also have storage on the bottom. We did do all gold fixtures in here as well. Similar to the kitchen, we mixed our shades of gold, which I think is great, where you have a little bit more of like a French gold on your shower and your towel bars, versus here you have this kind of like diamond and luster type gold. We did add 2 sconces throughout the bathroom as well. They have kind of these adorable little like dainty shades on them, but they add a lot of warmth and light, and again, just in a little bit of a different gold finish. We removed the soffit that was up above here. We did have this framed in with the ceiling and a wall as well. So when we had the option of opening it up, that was a big thing that we did, where we wanted to not only add tile for just texture and depth, but we kind of chose a pattern that's pointing up towards the ceiling to give you that height and to show you, even though our bathroom's a little more narrow, you don't feel like the space is too tight. We were so happy to be able to partner with 5 Blocks for this project. They are definitely one of the better finds we've had in the last year. They came to our office, kind of did a meet and greet, gave us an idea of what their design style was, their construction style, and just how they ran their projects. And that was something huge that as an interior design firm, we're always looking for. So we were very happy to be able to not only work with them on this project, but just experience how they handle all of their jobs. 5 Blocks has been here with us through the entire process. And as a matter of fact, here comes Eden now.
Hi Cal, hi everybody. I'm Eden from 5 Blocks, and this is our recent kitchen and bathroom remodeling. When I saw this place the first time, it was very dark, and I think the design aspects over here were beautiful. One of the things that made my life as a contractor very easy is to have the design binder that Cal made us, and that was the most detailed design binder. It told me everything I need to know about patterns, about materials, hidden outlets at the drawers, screws, whatever I needed. Those things make my life easy, and you can see the end results look beautiful. We're very excited for the homeowners to start cooking over here and enjoying their life. Yeah. Big thank you for the customers and for Cal and for 27 Diamonds. It was a pleasure working together.
Thank you guys as well. We loved working with 5 Blocks. Our client is so happy, we're happy, and we are very pleased with the results.